A massive comet is heading straight for Earth, and John's only chance to save his family is reaching one of the secret shelters hidden in Greenland before time runs out. This is Greenland. We meet John, a structural engineer wrapping up his day at work. On his drive home, the radio buzzes with talk about Comet Clark, so enormous it'll be visible even in broad daylight. When he pulls up to his house, he hesitates at the door, unsure whether to knock or just walk in. Things with his wife have been rough. He steps inside and finds Allison. After some tense words about their marriage, their young son Nathan appears. John asks him about the comet. Nathan explains that Clark comes from another solar system, and not much is known about it. We also learn Nathan has diabetes, a detail that'll matter soon. The next morning, things get interesting. Nathan's buzzing with excitement about Clark. John flips on the TV, where experts assure everyone the comet poses no threat. While he's outside firing up the grill for Nathan's birthday party, a neighbor wanders over, the classic nosy type who watches their every move from next door, and asks how things are going with Allison. Allison steps out and tells John to make a run to the supermarket for beer and snacks since guests are coming, and there's nothing ready. She needs time to get herself together because, yes, even in an apocalypse movie, actors have to look good. John grabs Nathan and heads to the store in his truck. The moment they arrive, everyone's staring up at the sky. It's crawling with planes and helicopters. You know something's seriously wrong when everyone else bolts, and you're still standing there buying the beer and sausages your wife asked for. While they're shopping, John's phone goes off. It's an alert from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, informing him that he, Nathan, and Allison have been selected for emergency shelter evacuation. Still processing what this means, John tells Nathan to hurry. They race back home, where all their party guests are relaxed and clueless. Only John and us, who watched the trailer, know what's coming. The rest have no idea. Everyone gathers to watch the impact of a small comet fragment that, according to specialists, is supposed to land harmlessly in the ocean. John slips into the kitchen and tells Allison about the emergency alert. She tells him to relax, but he points out that if everything were fine, half the military wouldn't be mobilizing by land and air. He's right. Everyone's ready to watch the fragment splash down in the water, but they're dead wrong. Suddenly, the ground shakes violently. John steps outside and sees every bird in sight taking flight. Then, boom, a massive shockwave tears through everything. Let the apocalypse begin. John's phone rings again, another presidential alert, this time directing him to an airport. Now all the neighbors realize John's family has been chosen, and no one else can go with them. They frantically pack. Allison stuffs Nathan's insulin into the backpack, and they rush out. On the street, neighbors swarm them. A desperate woman tries to hand over her daughter, begging them to take her to the shelter. But John, having actually read the terms and conditions, refuses. He knows they won't let her through. They head for the airport, but the highway's gridlocked. John, always the adventurer, throws it in reverse and finds another route. At some point, Nathan pulls a blanket from the backpack, and the insulin bag tumbles out. Yeah, that sounds like something that's going to bite us later. When they reach the airport, they grab their things and push toward the entrance. Like the world's most exclusive concert. Only those with QR codes on their phones get in. John, savvy as ever, muscles his way through, and they make it inside. Once in, they're handed a single bag and told to consolidate everything from their 3 suitcases. That's when they realize Nathan's medicine is missing. The boy wanted his blanket, and it got left in the car. John's told his plane leaves in minutes, so he sprints back to grab the insulin, promising to meet them on board. While Allison waits with Nathan, she makes the mistake of mentioning to a soldier that John went to get the kids' medication. Bad move, apparently. That's a problem. And they're immediately escorted away. Meanwhile, John finds the insulin. But Allison and Nathan are pulled aside by a military officer who informs her that no one with illness is allowed on the plane. John searches for his family and assumes they're already aboard. In reality, they're being removed from the plane. With no cell signal, John can't reach them. He boards, expecting to find them inside. Then a man asks how he got on with those drugs when sick passengers aren't allowed. John's stomach drops. His family never made it on. Allison exits with Nathan, just as an alert warns of a perimeter breach. Yeah, they're not zombies. They're people. But in an apocalypse, it's all the same. A firefight erupts. John notices a fuel leak and shouts a warning. Seconds later, everything explodes. Allison gets back to the truck. It's totaled. She sends John a message to meet at his father's house, but then remembers there's no signal. Smart move, though. She leaves a note on the windshield. While the world burns and chaos reigns, Allison heads into a pharmacy to find Nathan's medicine. But while they're searching inside, a group of extras who think they're in the purge burst in and start killing people for whatever's left. In the parking lot, Allison meets a couple and convinces them to give her and Nathan a ride north. She overhears them talking about VIP planes heading to the shelters. The couple starts asking questions. Eventually, it slips out that Allison's family was selected, but couldn't board because of Nathan's condition. Elsewhere in the city, John gets lucky and finds a truck heading north. He climbs aboard. Another passenger, Colin, notices his bracelet and asks what he does for a living, since they'd been selecting people by profession. John tells him he's a structural engineer. Colin explains they are headed to Canada, where pilots are gathering to fly to Greenland, the location of the shelters, bunkers built during the Cold War. Classified, but traceable by radar patterns. Allison's still traveling with the couple, but the man starts acting strange. He suggests she skip her father's house and go back to the airport. Maybe they'll let Nathan board if he's with another family. Yeah, the guy wants to kidnap Nathan and use him to get on a plane. He slows down, forces Allison out, and takes the boy. John's still on the truck when another passenger spots his bracelet and demands it. John refuses. They argue, then fight in the back of the truck. Suddenly, the tarp rips off and it turns into a full-on brawl. Pure smackdown. The truck swerves and crashes, throwing everyone. John wakes up and fights off the men trying to steal his bracelet. In the struggle, he accidentally kills one of them. "I like the way you die, boy." When he stumbles back to the road, he finds Colin. He didn't survive the crash. John grabs Nathan's insulin and starts walking. Allison's walking along the highway when a van stops and picks her up. Even at the end of the world, there are still good people. Meanwhile, poor Nathan's still with the kidnappers. They arrive at the airport, put on the bracelets, and tell him to lie, say they're his parents. But when they're about to pass security, Nathan earns the award for Best Character in the movie. He tells the truth. These aren't his parents. The soldier believes him, confirms the bracelets don't match, and arrests the couple. Nathan's taken to a field hospital. Allison arrives at the same airport with the kind strangers who picked her up. After speaking with the military, she's sent to the camp to search for her son. She looks everywhere. Just when it seems hopeless, they find each other. A nurse tells Allison there are buses heading north. She can take one to her father's house. After everything he's been through, John reaches a neighborhood. With no laws left, he kicks in a door and enters a house. He drinks water, eats, and watches the news. Tomorrow, the largest fragment will hit, and the entire world will be destroyed. John finds car keys and drives to Allison's father's house. Allison arrives at her father-in-law's place and fills him in on everything. Hours later, Allison and Nathan reach the town, and they arrange to meet. Finally, the families reunited. John tells Allison they need to get to Canada. There are planes leaving for Greenland. Allison's father is invited to join, but he decides to stay behind and care for the home he shared with his late wife. Suddenly, a massive fragment strikes nearby. The shockwave rattles the farm. It's time to go. Now, as they drive, They hit a traffic jam caused by an accident. A meteor storm forces them to find shelter. John, engineer and quick thinker, veers into a forest until they reach cover under a bridge. He spots someone trapped and rushes to free them, burning his arm in the process. They pile back into the truck and speed toward Canada. They find the airport. Planes are already taking off. John channels his inner fast and furious, floors it onto the runway, and parks right in front of a departing plane until it stops and lets them on. They're airborne, heading for the shelters. Hours later, they're over Greenland. All that's left is finding the bunkers. But fragments start falling nearby, and a shockwave slams the plane, sending it into a violent descent. Systems fail everywhere. Clark's about to enter the atmosphere. The plane finally lands, not smoothly, but in one piece. At least it didn't explode. John enters the cockpit. Both pilots are dead, but he spots a military plane landing nearby. With the survivors, they run for the bunkers. The largest fragment closes in. Everyone gets inside and braces for impact. The comet strikes. Everything goes dark as the shockwave hits. Days later, the world is destroyed, but radio transmissions confirm survivors scattered across the globe. Our protagonists spent 9 months underground. Now the ash has cleared and they emerge to the surface. Though everything's in ruins, birds fly overhead. Yeah, who knows how they survived? So that was Greenland, a brutal journey of survival against impossible odds. But wait, the story doesn't end here. If you want to see what happens next in this apocalyptic saga, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Sarena Recap so you never miss the next chapter. Drop a comment below and tell me, would you have made it to the shelters or would you have stayed behind? I want to hear your thoughts. Until next time, stay safe out there. See you in the next recap.